call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 20866908113 is not available. The mailbox is full and cannot accept any messages at this time. Goodbye.
Too bad. Well, that would have been interesting. I did not want to make that phone call. People that are dead voted 2-1 and wanted me to do it. Is that fucked up? That lady is alive. She is so old. I don't want to say evil. I don't know what it is. If your gut tells you something, and you know your gut to be right, just listen to it. If it's lied to you, then don't trust it. If it hasn't, do you want to die? I hear that song. My uncle meets this lady. Now, this lady was already affecting my dreams. This lady so long ago, this lady came over in like a tour bus. Little old ladies driving a tour bus shouldn't be driving a tour bus. You couldn't get in here with a tour bus except in the dream world. And in the dream, comes in, cuts it too close. The tour bus being driven by old lady wrenches the trailer up. Everything's on tilt. Full, like you're in the dream, you're tilting and can walk around like you're there. Like the dream was way too fucking vivid. Like it freaked me the fuck out. It was a nightmare, okay? That's what they call that. It was a nightmare. So long ago. I don't even know her that well. Oh, I met her. That's how I account for the effect. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So this lady causes this effect. She's an old lady now. Friend of my dad's. And after he dies, I had to call the list of people. You got a phone list, right? Call the list. Go down the list. Right? So, now I'm captured. I am her whopper for a period of time. She liked to talk. At that period of time, I didn't mind. I didn't care. She told me it sounded like I had my shit together. And you know what? I don't. I have no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Most of all, not today. That's what caused the vote. I'm like, well, in this... So, would you try to communicate with your deceased father? Not at all. Don't want to bother him. It's not at all. Something similar happened like that one time on accident when I thought it would be a good idea to try to channel my mom. Not a good idea. Not something you want to do. The things that began to happen in the attempt to prepare to do that caused problems in the reality. And, it actually turned into an experience of remembering some shit. Didn't have to happen. In this case, because today's the day, there was maybe it was last year, but I think it was, no. Now it seems like time's slipping, because there needs to be a period of time that had elapsed for it to occur to be the anniversary. It's only like the third year. Or maybe it's the fourth. No, it's the third. This is 26th, it's 23rd. 3 years. I can't figure this out. Somewhere in the mix of all this, communication ceased. I didn't want to get a reminder from this lady, and that's what she was good at that. She could remind you that your person that you're missing is now gone at the right time, to not want that fucking alarm at all. So I did whatever I could do to keep that from happening. But I talked to her again one other time. it started wearing down this effect. I'm not saying what was the cause of it wasn't, because I was right the whole time. My uncle told me. Now, for whatever reason, my uncle, who doesn't live out here, probably came a brief time to visit his brother, then became friends with this lady too. The rest of his life. There's something odd about that, I thought. It's very odd for this lady to have my dad and my uncle. It seemed weird. You're saying that right? I'm saying it as it seemed, because something about it was wrong. Felt wrong. I can't say. You can't be at fault for feeling a feeling. How you deal with that feeling is where you can be the problem. The more feelings you can have, great. It's not going to be easy for you to process them. Might be the worst thing for you. But if you can feel something, know why you feel it, and at least be aware of it, you will grow. No, it's not fun, but it happens. For men, feelings are not desirable things in the way that, I don't know, we understand shit. It doesn't seem to be a power move at all. It's because emotions are the power. You need energy, you need strength. All that shit comes from your emotions, depending on so many other factors, but whatever. A lot of people make the mistake of trying to tuck in their emotions, and that's a foolish move that'll cause you to blow up. Sometimes you can manage that process in society or life, and sometimes you can't, depending on however, you know, a lot of it's up to you and a lot of it might not be. But my uncle told me finally, and then he died, and I didn't know until way after he died that he had died. It was on Father's Day. So I'm getting the timeline now, because Father's Day is not that far away. It's only like a couple months, and it had to be between this date, because this is the day that he dies, this is why I like this so much. How are you going to get to 1940? That's none of your goddamn business. Now, Easter's weird. Hold on, let me finish this. I'm getting sidetracked. So many things happened after that. You know? My uncle, he's like, because she's mean. She's mean, and she'll fucking, if you don't agree with her, she's gonna fuck you up. This man didn't even cuss. This man his whole everything changed to let this truth out. He's like, she's just mean. He made it very simple. If you don't do what she wants or says, you're gonna have problems. She's gonna make problems. He was telling me the truth. And for whatever reason, he resisted it. And he did. And so did my dad. And I think my dad knew that too. He wasn't a stranger to it. I don't know why it seemed like they were captured. That's my first impression, like somebody's been captured. Have you ever seen a movie where a witch has somebody in her spell, and they just do whatever they say? And it was almost like that from my perspective, but my perspective is fucked. It isn't but pertain to me, and I know that it's wrong almost all the fucking time. almost always, I immediately have to go. If I say it to someone else and infect them with my view of shit, I immediately have to autocorrect in so many areas to get back in the right perspective because I've done the wrong thing. I know that there's an interesting perspective that I can share sometimes. But basically, I should keep it to myself. And I'm okay with that. It's not a big deal. You know, this world is weird. But he told me that. And then he died. And I was like, what the fuck? There's only been a couple times where I really got that feeling from certain people, and I just wanted to be the fuck away from them. I just knew to get distance and did it. It wasn't even like, you know, how do you know? Well, I think it was like this. My mother was the type of person that she was mean. Did you bring people to the house? Absolutely not. That wasn't a place for friends and people to gather. No way. That's the way the households were. My dad's place was always different, drastically different. There was music playing, there was people smoking. It was inviting, and I'd never been in an environment like that because my mother's a Nazi without all the Nazi. Something about my mother, it's true though. There was something alluring about that was different. But it was it would also caused some sort of like if you don't like to deal with people and people are just coming at you randomly, that can be the most worst fucking shit that you could have go on. You know, could make you really discover something. Where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Well, you have to do something. And I had never really settled down enough to have that experience before, and then was sort of locked into it. I liked it. I liked having that experience. It was great. It was. It seemed appropriate. Now, I used to not. I've got a completely different look and approach on everything. It's drastically changed. One of the most important things to do was to reconnect and then try to sustain just the ability to communicate with the ex. Because for whatever reason, it was dismissed by her as not important or not necessary for a long period of time. You know, which is ridiculous. It was ridiculous because we waited it. You know, like if somebody tells you to wait for something when there's something you can do, it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. A lot of opportunities are missed that way. Now Christians are told, what did my dad say? He's like, if you want to make God laugh, tell him you have a plan. That's ridiculous. It's like saying planning's a bad idea. You know, sure, it can be interrupted, but it's as ridiculous as my uncle telling me that storm was an act of God. We were talking about the storm that they cloud seeded, which they did. You know, because my friend Ronnie was saying he was high as a chemtrail. And I was like, are you sure you don't mean high as giraffes, pussy? He said, no, a chemtrail is way higher. I was like, no, sir. You ain't never gonna touch no chemtrail. But a giraffe pussy, it's about just out of reach. And you can reach for a giraffe's pussy, but I don't think you're tall enough. Neither am I. You could see it. It's up there. You could get close to it, but that giraffe, that thing's just enough out of reach and still in the playing field of man walking on the earth that you reach for that thing, you're gonna get it. It's that because that giraffe ain't gonna let you touch that thing. I puzzled him with that. I threw that at him, and that was it. He locked up for a minute because I put one on him, and then after that I said, okay, I gotta call my uncle because I got disconnected when I did call. I called and asked him for prayers for my stepdad, and then my aunt in that time has got to go to have heart surgery on Tuesday, which puts a major part of my awareness on lock because I'm raised by people who pray for other people's shit. And whether I'm able to just do this move or not, part of me checks out, I've noticed, and is in some form of stress until I know that they're okay, especially with family, with a heavy emphasis on the last remaining dad, especially when it's, because he tried to explain it like he had a stroke, and I immediately knew this motherfucker had a heart attack. He's trying to say he had a stroke. I don't know what the fuck a stroke would. I don't know. But I know how important your family is and how much more your care for them is going to weigh if you can care and will do it. And you should. Greatest goddamn thing ever. The most difficult thing is like with my brother. My grandmother charged me with some shit to do with my brother because she didn't want to have to take him to church because it would have traumatized his ass. He was a very special child. Maybe he didn't need to go to church. I don't fucking know. But she put it on me. There's nothing you can do about that. The experience I had when I was a good experience. I don't think he would have had the same experience. He was terrified. It wasn't until I got older that I went into a Catholic church one time and went right the fuck back out, because as soon as I went inside of that church, whatever the fuck's going on with Catholicism, you can have that shit, because it freaked me the fuck out. I didn't even turn around. I backed out of it and never went back. But I never seen one. I never been in one. I don't know what the fuck I thought I was going to do. That's how I found out. Didn't like that shit at all. So you don't know. And you might not know the effect of certain things on other people. So just consider it. And it's good to take in people as family that are as your family. And it's better to get your ass mobilized however you can to be family if you think you're a friend. You might not be a worthy friend. You might be a better family member. You might adjust some shit differently and find success. I don't think I'm the best friend now for either my brother or my brother. I'd want to rather be a family member, so I'm making the adjustment because it's more difficult to get whatever comes out that I need, that I can do for some of the weird experience. Life is weird. You don't know until you get older a lot of shit you just think you know when you're young. You don't. And you have to take it on fact that people that are older than you have to be knowing more for getting there in the years, whether you want to know whatever that is or not. That's the only way to get wisdom, is to get it from somebody that's gotten it firsthand and can give it to you and will, if you just dumbass take it. So take for a fact some of the fucking wisdom that people can give you, especially if you don't think that that's the case. The best thing you might do for yourself is to be like, what if it is the case? That's all I'm saying. What was the point of this? Oh, the Donna Kate. Because I was going to try to call this lady. And no, I didn't want to do it. But I'm pretty sure she's still alive. I'm not sure how it would have gone. The last time she told me she moved to this town. what the fuck? So I don't know what to think. You know, I'm thinking I'm calling her in this town, and then the number is such a crazy number. It's definitely not local. It's some other state, but it's not one that I would immediately come to mind. This lady's been everywhere. I've got a weird ass somewhere in there is a poem that she wrote about a cat she had named Spike. And that story was such a fucking weird thing. A story or a poem. It was a dedication to a cat. The cat died, but the cat lived. She was telling that cat story. That motherfucker Spike must have been Spike. That's a fact. I read that shit. I'd never been moved by some other person's story. This lady had some sort of power, and I'm sure she does. She's got 5 sons. They all treat her like shit. To hear her tell it. But if she's still in Houston where she's not, if what she said is true, you could hear them talking shit to her, yelling it from wherever the fuck she was at. So it was very weird to hear this going on. So I went on that journey. I don't know. Donna Kay. She's got to be like 85. She's got to be pushing 90. You know? Doesn't sound like it. Don't fucking know. I told her, no, I don't have my shit together at all. I can talk to you because I can. That doesn't mean I have my shit together. The fact I can tell you that's not the case should give you some sort of adjustment. Now, she wanted me to play that role, and I told her it was wrong. Like, not at all. I'm like, don't you hate dopeheads like me? Just indiscriminately, usually? I was like, why can't you put me back in that box? I was like, I'm not shaking that fucking off of me. I still have the stain of that. She didn't care. She didn't give a fuck. I'm like, well, you know, at least that's... I admire the resolve. I do. I do. I don't care what people do. I don't want to be around anybody doing crack. I can tolerate the people that do speed. And for some reason, I don't know why I even like that. It's like the slowest, most difficult distance yourself from drug of choice that I've ever had. Because it completely is it's the slowest pulling apart of affection I've ever experienced. I probably did too much acid. It's probably from doing acid and that drug one time, which I would never recommend. There are certain combinations of shit that if you do them, like if you do cocaine on acid or are on acid and do cocaine and you're me, you will be paralyzed at your friend Ronnie's house upstairs and not be able to move. I was like when people talk about being where they have sleep paralysis, like I was laying there, my eyes were open, I could move my eyes, but I couldn't say anything and I couldn't move. Victor was poking me, Ronnie was trying to move me, I couldn't do anything. I got frozen, paralyzed for like 10 minutes and then was able to come out of it and just did never do that again. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Cocaine's nasty. If you're young and you've never done cocaine and it's the past where cocaine was better, maybe. But it's got to be the most fucked up drug because you never know what the fuck you're gonna get with cocaine. I mean, and some people just love fucking cocaine. It's so weird. My mom and my stepdad would do cocaine. It was the weirdest fucking thing for me to discover that they were doing this cocaine. Then they wanted me to go and get the cocaine. I made that mistake one time. Because you could get cocaine in the back of the neighborhood from Al. Back in the hood. my mom wanted to send me to get some cocaine for Mal. I'm like, I'm not going to do this. I was like, if I do this, as soon as I give it to you, you're going to tell me I took some. I'm never going to hear the end of it, and it's going to be a problem. I'm not going to do this. And she's like, no, I promise I won't do it. I said, I'm going to get my own cocaine. I don't want to hear shit. I'll give you your cocaine, but if you tell me I took some of your cocaine, which I don't want to get, after I even get my own, which I did and showed her, she still blamed me for taking some of her cocaine. What a bitch. I was like, you're fucking crazy. I don't know what the fuck they were doing. And the shit they told me, I was like, is this because you're a nurse? I was like, what are you doing? It's like they weren't injecting it. They were doing some other shit that involves something along those lines that I have no idea. I was like, who are you? What are y'all doing? Johnny. This is part of his heart problem right now. This is why he had the heart problem. There are so many people that are amazed that Johnny's alive, that knew him in the past. Johnny must have been out of control. I've met people that knew him accidentally. It was one girl that I knew, and her mom knew and went to school with Johnny. She's like, Johnny Goldsmith is still alive? When somebody says that to you about somebody that's your parent figure, you know they was a wild motherfucker. And when I heard that, I was like, that's what they got in common. That's why they're together. That's when it made sense to me. It never really made sense to me. Johnny was the only one that could tolerate my mom. He could turn her off. I don't know how the fuck he did it. He'd sit in his chair, click his brain. She would talk, and she was. It wasn't like, no, you can't bring your friends over. No, I want to give you shit because it's fun for me. Warfare all the time. So when it was time to leave, good fucking luck. I'm out of there. Yeah, I didn't linger. And now that she's gone, I miss her. I love my mom. Great mom. Horrible person at times. Just because she was mean. And liked to be mean. I don't have that in me. I don't want to be mean. Or hateful. For reasons that I may be getting some... I don't like that. It makes me kind of sick. But I don't know. This video is just just to say all the things on this day. Because it was a very difficult day the day it was, but now it's sort of like a celebratory. It's kind of like a holiday now. Because after the fact, I feel very good about wherever the fuck the people are at. All the people I know that are dead are somewhere, and I can't even imagine what it is. I can only imagine what it's not. And that's not the way it was given to me initially. I can't even picture heaven, but I know it is existing somehow. Other realm.